My clients almost lost 4 months of their time, and on top of that, $50,000 when trying to purchase a new build. Before I get into this crazy story, in case we haven't met, konnichiwa, my name is Kaori Nagao, your Las Vegas lifestyle specialist, helping you find your new home in Las Vegas and Henderson. I just want to take this opportunity to thank you for watching my videos. I hope they're useful and helpful for you in making that decision to relocate here. I did it 17 years ago, and it's definitely the best decision I've made. So let's go on with this story. Last year, a friend of mine from San Francisco, who I met years ago when I used to own and operate a luxury concierge services, referred me to a colleague who was thinking about relocating to Las Vegas. Let's call her Sally. Sally was thinking about relocating to Las Vegas with her husband and her 2 children. She decided to rent first, and I had an opportunity to represent her to find an off-market rental listing in Summerlin. Just want to do a quick shout out to Jennifer. Jennifer, thank you so much for always letting me know about your off-market rental listings because, as you know, I have a lot of rental leads and I love working with you. So thank you so much. So Sally and her family relocated to Summerlin and had rented this home for a year. Now it was time to look for a new build. Sally and I have been meeting occasionally over coffee or over client events, and we would talk about which areas in town she likes. And of course, what was important for her was the schools for the 2 children. She really liked the southwest side of town, so we started looking at new builds. This past April, Sally and her family decided to move forward with a purchase agreement for a new build in the Southwest. They were so excited. This was their first home in Nevada, and they couldn't wait to see their brand new home being developed. In June, that was when we had the groundbreaking of her lot. So we went to the lot, had that, sold sign, and took a bunch of pictures. And I actually share it on my social media. So if you're not following me on my Instagram or TikTok, make sure you do. My handle is below, and there's a picture of us on the lot holding that sold sign, getting really excited for the new build of this beautiful new home. With the market shift that we experienced over the summer, in August, I noticed that the base price of this new build had been lowered twice in the amount of $50,000. And you guys, $50,000, that's a lot of money. And this, for my particular buyer, Sally, it was actually 10% of the total purchase price of the home. 10%. So I called up Sally, explained to her the situation, really educated her on the market conditions, and let her know what I was seeing all around me in Las Vegas with all the new builds. With the shift in the market, all the new builders panicked. They were calling me, offering additional incentives. They were asking me if I had any buyers interested. They were going to be willing to lower their interest rates, just really throwing incentives at us. So I called Sally and educated her on the market condition and asked her if she wanted me to give the home sales rep a call to see if there was anything we could do about this $50,000 delta. Sally didn't know that it was even possible to negotiate on a purchase agreement that was already confirmed and solidified. So I told her, you know what? Let's take a chance. Let's ask the new home sales contact to see what we could do. Obviously, with the market shift, things has changed. So what we could do right now is ask. Wouldn't you agree? What would you have done in this situation? Would you have asked me to negotiate? Comment negotiate below if you think you would have asked me to negotiate with the home sales. Now let's keep going. If Sally didn't have my representation, and again, as a buyer, some of these questions, you don't know if you should even ask or if you even have a shot at negotiating with the purchase agreement, right? So for Sally, and knowing her personality, I think she would have asked herself directly with the home sales contact. So she may have had the opportunity to negotiate herself to get that $50,000. But what if you're a buyer and you didn't know what to ask, or you didn't know that you even had an opportunity to negotiate? Or maybe, you're not watching all the news and knowing what's going on in the marketplace here in Las Vegas and Henderson. That's when you need an experienced realtor like myself to represent you as the buyer's agent for new construction. And I want all of you to really, really understand that it's very important to have representation for new construction. There's a lot of myth about, maybe you could get a better deal if you don't have a real estate agent because you know that the builders have to pay a commission. Well, that's absolutely a myth because the builders always have that commission for us set aside. And that's not factored into the purchase price or any of the design credits or upgrades that you're going to be getting as a buyer. So I really want to communicate that with you because that's a huge myth. And I highly, strongly recommend you to get representation, especially a realtor with experience in new homes. Not just a realtor that's been doing, real estate for a long time or have experience in resale, because the resale market and the new home market is completely different, you guys. You need someone that's experienced, that have the knowledge of communicating and negotiating with these new home builders. So I highly recommend getting representation, especially when you're getting a new build. My tips to buyers purchasing a new build is it's okay to ask. It's okay to negotiate, because if you don't ask, you don't know what kind of response you're going to get from these builders, especially with these changing market conditions. Now all these homes, spec homes, are just sitting there and they don't have buyers or anybody on their waiting list. So there's definitely room to negotiate. I just wanted to point that out because one of the myths about buying a new construction is that you can't negotiate on the terms. And the reality is, yes, you can. And in this case, I called my new home sales contact and just simply asked, hey, we saw 2 base price reduction totaling $50,000 for our contract. That's 10% of the total purchase price. Is there anything at all you could do? Would you mind asking your supervisor? Especially with the changes in the market condition, would you be open to that? Within 24 hours, my new sales contact calls me and says, Kaori, no problem. We're going to amend the contract. We're going to send your buyers a new DocuSign to amend the purchase price. So you guys, I did it. And that's what we had to do. All you had to do was ask. And as your realtor representing you for a new build, we need to know the right questions to ask. We need to always understand the market condition and see what the other builders are doing. Because if the other builders are doing it, most likely this particular builder will listen and do the same. After getting off the phone with the new home sales contact, I called Sally to let her know, and she was just almost in tears with joy. 10% is a big deal, and can you only imagine what she could do with that $50,000? As a new home, again, remember you guys, it doesn't come with all the appliances like the washer, dryer, and the fridge. So with that money, she could buy all brand new, stainless steel or whatever of her choice appliances. And on top of that, as a new build, you get the backyard as a dirt lot. So you do have to make it finished within a certain timeline. Depending on the HOA, it's usually about a year. You need to submit your renderings within the first 6 months and then have it finished within the year. So, can you imagine what she could do with that amount of budget for her brand new backyard? And I know she has a pet, so I think that would be really, that would be a really nice backyard to have with some turf and some other landscaping for the dog. What do you think? What would you do with that extra $50,000 if I was able to help you save that for a new build? Comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Now, to end this video, I just want to see if you guys have any other myth or questions about new builds, because a lot of people ask me that. And so for my next video, I am going to be sharing with you 7 things you need to know about new construction and 7 things you need to be mindful about when you purchase a new build. So again, keep watching if you want to buy a new build here in Las Vegas or Henderson. And thanks again for watching.